Guys, today we're having a deep dive conversation, and this is not for the weak at heart. So, if you are in real estate, if you're in business, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a professional, this is your conversation here at Agents in the Trenches. Today, we are going so deep with everything that's happening in the market and the real raw realities. I'm going to be touching on points that even your brokers and team leaders do not have the courage to tell you. And the reason we're bringing this mid-year state of the market update is because we want to be able to bring the truth, because we know that the truth is going to help so many more people step up and level up their game. So welcome to Agents in the Trenches, my friends, the space and the place where we talk about the struggle. And right now we're seeing more struggles than ever. And it doesn't matter how many years you've been in real estate or in business or in your profession. It is time for everyone to go to that next level and level up. Everyone needs to reinvent themselves. Everyone needs to rediscover what is working. So this is our official reset here on Agents in the Trenches. And to lead this conversation, I have someone that I'm going to bring to the studio. But first, I want everybody that is watching live to give me a hashtag live. Let's see. I want to see those comments light up in the chat. Give me a hashtag live right now. And if you're watching on replay, give me a hashtag replay and tell me what city you are watching from, whether it's Fort Myers, Cape Coral, whether it's Naples. I don't know where people are going to be watching from, but let me tell you, this conversation is going to be raw. This is not for the weak at heart. If you are used to having an ego massage, if you are used to living in a world of, like I like to call it, hallucination, where you are still thinking that, tomorrow things are going to change, but you don't need to do anything different, this is not for you. Keep scrolling. I'll catch you on the next episode. But today, I want to bring someone to the stage. We are going to light up this conversation. We're bringing the energy because, guys, everybody is having to level up. Everybody's feeling the pain. Everybody is recognizing that whatever version of you have been at, it ain't good enough to get you to that next level. So I want to bring to the stage my dear friend and colleague and growth leader at Q International. I want to bring him to the stage now. Let's bring him to the stage right now. The one and only. Let's see. Where's he at? Where is he at? There we go, guys. We got to be on point. Welcome, Gino. How are you doing today?
Good morning. Good morning. How you doing, Lucy?
Gino, we were just trying to do this live a little bit ago. And did you feel the pressure?
Listen, it's like the real estate. When you wake up in the morning, you got to be prepared for what comes with it.
And that's exactly how I want to kick it off. Gino, you have been in the industry for many years. You have seen a couple of the corners, but mostly you've been part of the easy industry of real estate for the last 10 years. Nobody has really seen the hard business of real estate. If you've been in business for less than 10 years, you haven't seen a real market. Gino, what's the state of the industry? What are you seeing happening out there with your realtor friends and with people you hear about and people you talk to? Give us a little bit of those updates that you are experiencing with other people.
You know what? You said it, the real estate industry. The real estate industry right now is stuck. Not because of money, not because of buyers or sellers, but because of knowledge. Or let me say, implementing your knowledge. Because, even when I talk to you, sometimes you'll say, you can know everything, but if you're not implementing it, it doesn't work. And
right.
That's where the real estate, to me, the real estate is stuck on that because new agents are coming in every day and they're going to these agents with, oh, we're going to help you do this, we're going to help you, but there's no help. And I hear a lot of agents come to me and say there are certain companies where they're paying for team leadership, mentorship, but they haven't made a sale yet. Or I don't understand why are companies bringing agents in, but not setting them up for success, just setting them up to make a sale. Here's the difference.
So let's talk about that for a little bit, because listen, I'm going to put responsibility where responsibility belongs. And at the end of the day, we can blame the whole world, but the responsibility lays on the person, the realtor. And maybe they just don't know what they don't know. So let's kick it off by talking about something that we see that's very common. And I honestly don't even think realtors understand how they are self sabotaging by working with a broker or working with a team leader that is in competition with them, meaning this broker or this team leader is in production. So, what do you see is most common out there? Brokers and team leaders that produce through their people, or brokers and team leaders that produce against their people?
Well, I see. I'll say this. Over the last year, it was brokers competing with their agents. Right now, I've noticed there are a few that's trying to push up and be a leader and help team, but it's not happening. And I will say this because I made a change over the last year. And over the last year, because of the change that I've seen, I'm gonna say some of it started where I'm at. Because for some reason over this last year, I hear a lot of talk when I started going to the Winners Wednesday program about community, building a community. Now, I will say before I came to Winners Wednesday, there was no community. I mean, I'm speaking from my experiences.
Right.
Every agency was out for self. Every broker in the agency was out for self. But they'll put you with a mentor when you got to realize the mentor is in production too. So
Right.
when a new agent is coming in the game to this real estate, if they don't have no one to hold their hand, and I'm gonna say this, I would say at least 6 out of 10 ain't getting their hand held by someone that really want to generate them to learn this market. And
Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? What's missing? Because, that's why I want to bring this market update, mid-year market update. I'm not going to bring, the cheesy, wheezy, bologna and cheese stats that anybody can pull from the National Association of Realtors. I want to talk about the real, raw realities of what's happening in the trenches, the struggle, the pain. Like you just said, people are stuck. What do you think is really missing?
well, what's missing, first of all, you just said it. When you talk real estate, they worry about the stats. They worry about the awards they get and all that. But to a person that, and I'm not going to sit here and say a lot to where I see what you're doing because somebody might say, yeah, everything is Lucy. No. First of all, you got to really care about what you're doing. I think that's it. We know we're going to make money. We know that already. But you got to have that real love in you for the person. You understand? And to me, real estate starts off as a business where they're forgetting the new people. Like you say this. Everybody want to hear the stats. What's selling? What about the agent that's not in that stat category? We're not talking about them because people don't want to deal with the low stats. They want the big numbers. And that's where we're lost at. We're telling them, oh, come over here and learn my company, work for my company, but I don't want you to work with nobody else. So you get no more knowledge from nobody else. And that's what's wrong with the real estate market to where they tell you to get on team, but most companies don't even want you to be on team.
So here's where I think, and I've seen all corners of the real estate industry. Like you and I were having a behind the scenes conversation about, it's one thing what people see in front of the cameras or in front of the room, right? When it comes to what I do and how I do it. But you know what? Nobody really sees the behind the scenes. Nobody sees what it takes to be the person that I decided to become. And I want to put responsibility, Gino, on the realtors. The realtors hire the brokers. If you're a realtor, you hired that broker. If you didn't know any better, well, this is your opportunity to audit. It will never be an even playing field if you are working with a competing broker. And let me tell you, Gino, in the world that I hang around with, there's a lot of team leaders and a lot of brokers that do not compete. They are not in production. And the reason they do not compete is because it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that just because you are a great producer doesn't make you great in leadership. It doesn't make you great leading other people. Just because you're a great producer doesn't make you a great broker. And that's one of the biggest mistakes I've seen throughout the years. When someone is a great producer, someone is great out there with buyers and sellers and for sale by owners and expires, or someone is out there, just being a top producer and making all the deals on wheels. The next thing is, oh, I'm going to become a broker. Well, a broker has a responsibility to their people. And Gino, let me ask you a question. If you're a broker, you're a team leader, and you get a phone call from a seller who wants to list their home, and your commission on the line is $10,000. And listen to me close. And then you got, a new agent that's coming in, that's still needing that hand holding, still needing the step-by-step, the ABCs and 1, 2, 3s, basic training. And you know how that goes. I mean, we all know if you've been in real estate for more than a month, you got a minute. You got got a minute. Let's be honest. Where would your priority be if you've got to serve a $10,000 commission opportunity, or if you've got to respond to an agent that's always asking for, you got a minute? Where would your priority be if we were really honest?
Real honest, that agent will stay right there, because already they show you I don't have the time to help you with that. So for that 10,000, I can make it easy and smooth. Go do the deal, get it over with, come back, and then focus on you, right? When the right way, it should be to take that agent, walk them through the deal, and explain that maybe we can do commission, referral, whatever, but you get the agent involved so the agent is going to get the experience. Now, right. It's not like that for everybody. I'm not going to, but 90% of the real estate market is make money, and we know that. But it's about not leaving someone behind, because I meet agents all the time. They're like, Gino, how you do this and that? And the first thing I say is, don't get me wrong. Let me say this. I've been in real estate for 6 years, right? Now I'm into real estate because I have someone that's showing me a way. I'm not saying that people are not bad, but some people are going to take the road. Some people are going to take the highway. Some people are going to fly low. Some people are going to fly high. First of all, a broker should ask a new agent, what do they want to learn, instead of trying to put something in them. Because as an agent, I know when I came in the game, I want to sell $1 million house. But they didn't tell me, Gino, you can't because you don't know how to. They just said you can't. That's not the way it's supposed to be. You understand? It's supposed to be to where, well, let's start here. And then you tell me how you're going to get the $1 million, and I can tell you what's right and what's wrong. That's the knowledge that you're not giving us. And then agents go from one company to the next.
Now let's not even get started. Listen, in the last year, and guys, I mean, you got to wake up. I mean, you got to wake up. There's something wrong with the picture if you are one of those people that has that grasshopper syndrome. And let me tell you, I'm going to tell you like it is. I graduated from people's opinions, Gino. I graduated 3 years ago, to be exact. I graduated from everybody's opinion, because at the end of the day, those that are going to love me, those that are going to like me, and those that are not, that's their problem, not mine. So I'm going to call it what it is. Listen, we have to understand that every time you move from a team or from a company, you're setting your business back by 30 to 40%. What is it that these realtors are looking for, that they're grasshopping from one place to the other? You know what that shows me? You have no clarity. You don't have a mentor to guide you and direct you through the process. Because, you know, you just said something very powerful. If a brand new agent, and I've had brand new agents come to me and say, I want to sell luxury. I said, that's great, but let's get your 10 transactions under your belt first. Let's do the 10 entry level average home buyer in your market transactions first so you could build that muscle. That would be like me going and telling my trainer right now, I want to squat 300 pounds. You think I can squat 300 pounds if I've never worked out, if I've never squatted? So the responsibility, Gino, is on the realtors that are still hallucinating with this fantasy land. And let me tell you something. This is why I'm bringing this conversation, because I hope that someone like you could shed some wisdom, some light, and tell people the truth. Because people may think, okay, Lucy says that because it's Lucy. But you see them out there, they look like they're, closing $1 million, and they haven't closed a deal this year, or they haven't closed, or they haven't even, let's put it this way. There's people out there, my friends, because I look at the numbers, I check the stats, I study the behavior. There's people out there that do not know how to go get a listing and win the listing at the listing table. They don't know how to do it. They're getting listings by accident. But if you put them head to head at a listing appointment, they would flunk out. And that's the truth. Have you seen that happen as well, Gino?
Yes, yeah. Because I want to say this right now. I'm gonna take the responsibility as a new agent, and I love talking to new agents because over this 6 years, the experience is this: we don't know what we don't know, right? Coming into real estate, now our intentions are, I'm gonna make money, because they see the glory of what an agent did in 10 years. They don't see the new one, but how can an agent ask questions to something they don't know, but they're assuming? Like, for example, when I first came into business, I wanted to sell $400,000 or $500,000 houses, but at the time, the coach was the leader, whatever, said, go to your neighborhood and start farming. First thing I said to my mind was, that's 100,000, that's 200,000. I don't want that. But I had to learn that's what we got to start at, because that's why I made my first deal through farming. But they're not going to tell you that to do that, because you know what? You also need some money to farm. So to avoid you from that, they just tell you to go in the MLS and look this up, or go do your CRM, which is all good, but walk them through it. Don't tell them to do it.
Well, here's the thing, and I'm going to give everybody, and I don't care what business you're in. Obviously, I use real estate because it's my vehicle, but you could be in insurance, you could be in mortgages, you could be in health and wellness, you could be in any business that's, sales out there in the marketplace. I'm not talking retail, I'm talking out in the marketplace. The first thing that a broker, a team leader, or someone that wants to grow their business through people must do is say, okay, what is my value proposition? What am I going to do for somebody that's going to produce results? Right? And here's where this traditional model of real estate is broken. People think that because you're a broker, that qualifies you to lead people. Guys, just because you go and take a 72-hour test at the state level and you end up with a broker's, that does not qualify you. I'm sorry to tell you, it does not qualify you to be a broker leading people. Just because you're paying people 100% doesn't qualify you to say that you're really building, production, agent development. And I'll prove it to you. When I go and I look at the numbers at the per person production, okay, I'm going to talk a lingo that most people don't understand, but you're going to get it at the end. When I go look at 100% company and I go look at their numbers and the numbers look sexy, right? 500 transactions, 1,000 transactions. And then you go look at the fact that they have 300, 500, 1,000 people. Guys, all you got to do is take that number of production and divide it by the amount of people. Gino, do you know the per agent production is less than 5 closings per year? That's why I can say what I say with expertise and authority. Just because you're giving somebody 100% doesn't mean you qualify to make them productive. Because if your office of 500 people or 900 people is averaging less than 5 transactions a year, you are not doing the job of being a broker. You're not doing the job of being that leader in leadership, developing those agents. And this is what real estate agents need to understand. You've got to find people that are willing to invest their time. Now, there is something really important that I want to touch on, because I think it's super important that we understand that, you know, there's basic training, and basic training is important. But you're never going to build business with basic training. I want those people that are connecting with us. Thank you for joining us. Say hi. Tell us where you're watching from. Basic training does not build business. That is what you must understand. Basic training, the ABCs and 1, 2, 3s does not build business. For you to be able to build business, you must have a mentor that is willing to guide you, a coach that is willing to. Now, who is a coach? Guys, here's the truth. Everybody calls himself a coach. Everybody that's downloaded, a 4-week program from YouTube is now a certified coach. There's more coaching certifications on the planet right now than ever before. Here's what I recommend. You need someone that has been where you are. You need someone that started at the bottom and worked themselves through the trenches. You need someone that is now willing to come back and succeed, one hand up and one hand down. Don't just go get a certification from someone that only has the theory, someone that has never really done the work, someone that has never been through the pain, been through the struggle, been through the challenges. You got to find someone that knows how to navigate your uncharted waters. Now, I think we lost Gino's video again. So if we can help him leave the studio and then come back in. Today we're having all kinds of technical difficulties, but hey guys, you know what? Done is better than perfect. And of course we wanted to bring this information to you, but done is better than perfect. So it's understanding that if you're in real estate, here's my number one recommendation. If you are brand new into any business, real estate, mortgage, insurance, health and wellness, whatever business you're in, go work alongside someone that's willing to walk the trenches with you, or invite you, or give you an opportunity. For example, Gino, I'm glad to see you're back. You're back. You see yourself, Gino? All right. If your camera goes off, don't worry. Just go out and come back in.
Yeah.
All right. Gino, let me ask you a question. Do you rather make 100% of nothing, or 50% of something while you are being mentored by someone that's an expert, by someone that is taking you on listing appointments, for sale by owner appointments, giving you a lead? Would you rather get paid at 50% and gain experience, or 100% of nothing out there by yourself?
You know what I'm gonna say right now? I'm gonna say the truth, but I always do. Listen, that's what I was doing in the beginning. I was getting deals in different cities with not getting knowledge to say, hey, take 50% of this when you're not gonna get nothing. And for what happened was, some of my deals didn't close, and it's my fault. Like you said, I'm taking accountability because I wasn't taught to share and be a referral agent. I was like, go get the money, go get the money. So I'm running to Miami, I'm running to Tampa, I'm running to Orlando, beating myself up when I wasn't taught. that right there. Because now I'm saying I should have connect with another agent and got the referral or something, but I wasn't taught that back then. That's the
Right.
issue, and now I'm taught it. I can explain it because a person would not know what it feels like to lose that deal because they didn't want to work with somebody because they don't know, and that's
Right.
where it's hard for the. I think the old school brokers. I'm not saying your age. I'm saying the mindset.
Right.
You're taught to keep it in the company. Don't share another. Don't let nobody do an open house over here, and you can get 50% compared to nothing. And that's what I mean about, like I seen someone put it there, coach has to be taught. You're right. But when you get that coach, like the B said, and if they don't do the work, it's not your fault. Now that age got to hold themselves accountable. And they not taught how to do that neither. You hold them accountable and say, hey, you told me you were going to call this customer on Sunday, you didn't do it. That's holding them accountable.
Most people don't want to be held accountable because their ego is too big. So they rather stay broke. They rather stay struggling. They rather make mistakes. They rather be out there wasting time because, oh, I don't want nobody holding me accountable. I'm my own boss. That is the biggest hallucination there is. Guys, listen, I'm going to give you the solution. I am the voice of clarity in my marketplace. Like, not only is this not my first rodeo, okay, this ain't even my first championship. So when I see people trying to, sell other people on these, concepts of, come work with me, but I'm in production, I'm going to compete against you. They don't understand what it takes to really develop people. You cannot, I'm gonna say it again for the people in the back of the room, you cannot compete against your own because you'll never be loyal to them and their success. You will never give up a $10,000 listing appointment or buyer appointment to go serve your people. And that's the market that we're in. Everybody that is in real estate, in mortgage, in insurance, in any sales business must have a mentor that is willing to succeed through them, not succeed against them. And if you're a broker and you're competing against your own, you are self-sabotaging because that is why you have people in your office that are not producing. That's why you've got 90% of the people in your office with a job. Why would you have a brokerage and you think it's okay to have 90% of your people with a job? They should be full in real estate. You cannot be a team leader and be competing against your people. You should be co-listing with your people. You should be co-marketing with your people. You should be co-sharing and co-elevating and co-promoting with your people, not be the superstar and your people are out there not closing deals. So for everybody that's hearing me, go find a mentor that has been where you are, that is willing to guide you, to teach you, okay, to coach you and hold you accountable. But Gino, I'm going to tell you the truth, because here's where the rubber meets the road. Most realtors, most salespeople, most people are not coachable. They think they know it all. They think that they know it all and they don't know jack.
Well, see, I think what that right there is, I'll speak for me. Before I got into real estate, I knew what I knew because they got me to there. But like when I met you, you brought me to real estate, so I don't know. So the issue is right. When I talk to people now, it is hard to try to change their mind. They want to come over here, but they think they know already, right? But what I've learned too is this. Why is it that, like, you can take a baby and they can grow. They can be molded. I do this right now with new agents that I meet, and I do it still. I go get rentals. I line them up for next year to buy a home. Those are my customers. I got 6 of them this year. Why don't real estate companies tell their new agents, start off by doing are rentals. That's money you can make less than 30 days. That's money that's also helping you learn to
Right.
deal with customers. That's a start. It's not a lot of money, but it's getting your feet wet to know people. But I thought of that. Companies don't tell you that. So there's ways for our new agents to learn. But right now, because the way the market is, I think a lot of agents broke, they're nervous. So they're going to try to take every deal they can and then come back and say, listen, I'll help you with the next one. And you know what? Before you know it, you'll be a year or 2 or 3 in that same company. And you made 1 or 2 sales.
So I want to respect your time. And so number one, it's time to audit the leadership in your company. It's time to audit if you have someone that is competing against you, go have the tough conversation. I'd rather you have the tough conversation and wake up than to continue hallucinating, thinking that, because they bring me into a training once a week where we're talking about the the ABCs and 1, 2, 3s and the basic training and the hand holding training does not develop an agent. It gives you the information, and that's important. It gives you the fundamentals, and that's important. But you must have someone that is willing to give you an opportunity or guide you or lead you into getting in the trenches. So if you're a solo agent, don't walk, run, and go join someone that is not going to compete against you and that's going to give you the opportunities to be in the trenches. Okay. Number 2, Gino, and this is the truth out there. I just spoke. I've had many conversations. I'm speaking to many brokers. Brokers are bleeding. Brokers have offices filled with agents, and they don't know what to do with their agents because they don't want to have the tough conversations. They don't have the courage to say, hey, listen, you're not producing. Either we grow or you go. Why are you scared to have that conversation with your people? Oh, hold on. Because your ego tells you rather have a roster full of people's names with no production than really prune the company and set up a culture of growth and set up a culture of expansion and set up a culture of like-minded, thriving people. And that's the truth, Gino. I'm talking to brokers. I've got brokers that are closing down their companies because they've got agents that are not producing. I've got brokers that don't know what to do with their company because they got agents that are not producing. And I've got realtors that I'm talking to, 25 listings, and none of them are selling. Tell me what's missing.
That right there. You got product. Product sells itself if you did to do the product. But that's all we was taught. Get the product and sell it or buy it. We wasn't taught how to walk through it.
So give us an example of what you mean. What do you mean? Break it down. Give me a real life.
Okay.
So what do you mean? Product sells itself. Does it sell itself? It doesn't matter how you price it. It doesn't matter. Like there's no conversation.
No, it should. No, that's what I'm saying. It should. But I'm gonna use me. And I had a listing, and it wasn't moving for a minute. Right? I'm doing it Gino way. But I went to my coach and said, Coach, this house is not moving. She asked me a few things. Did you say this? Did you say that? I said, yeah, but the seller don't want to budge. You said, I said that, you said, let me talk to her. That right there showed me my coach had my back because I didn't know what to do at that moment. You got on that phone less than 15 minutes. That seller reduced the price to $20,000, down $20,000. Now, I didn't know what to say to get her to do that. See, that's me being, to tell the truth, I don't know everything. That's what the coach is for. You got my price to go down $20,000 in 15 minutes. But that's where the coaching comes in that. And like you said, and I was stuck, and I don't know everything, and I'll be honest, it was about 4 months, same price. It
Yeah,
took you 15 minutes and I listened to the words that I didn't know to say. So
right.
that's one good reason of you can have 15 listings.
Yep.
But when you get stuck, you need to have that person to say, well, how about if you change this over here? Do it on a different day. We always can use help. But most companies don't want to help you. They want to sell you. There's a difference. They're selling their agent. Hey, I got this, I got that. But they're not in. Listen, I did it for 5 years. Not to say no badness. Today, I'm doing business and I'm growing. That's
Right.
another thing. Let's ask agents, do they want to grow or do they just want to make money? Because there are some companies that are making money that ain't doing nothing in the public or helping. So it's about where the agent want to be and where you want to take them or where you see them. And I thank you because you seen the diamond in the rough and you didn't give up. Gino, come, Gino, come. But that's what brokers are not doing. They're letting you leave and go to another company because they don't want to put the time in personally. See, that's the difference. You're doing it personally. Some companies got mentors or whoever. You're not hanging with the broker. Let's be honest.
And and listen, it takes a village to develop an agent, right? And I tell my people, you want to come work with me? Listen, I'm your launching pad. My real estate organization, Q International, and I even have learned, that I was not working at my optimum because I was calling Q International a team, and Q International is an organization for growers and builders and scalers. You know, again, the message has to be real clear. 100% commission does not guarantee you growing and
Yep.
learning.
Yep.
Okay. You got to join a team. You got to be part of an ecosystem. You've got to be around people that are willing to show up. And most people don't want to show up. Listen, it's Tuesday morning, and most people are at home pretending to be productive. And you're not going to make money at home. You're not going to make money sitting in the office waiting to see who shows up. You got to be in the trenches, and you have to have someone to hold you accountable. Now, I've spoken to brokers, they're bleeding to death. I've spoken to other brokers, they're closing down their company because their agents aren't producing. All their agents have jobs, JOBs, just over brokes. I'm speaking to other brokers, and the brokers are saying, I don't know what to do with my agents. Can you help me? And I said, yep, let's talk. Let's see if my broker alliance is a match for you. And I'm also speaking to realtors, and even the realtors that have been top producers, 25 listings, and they're telling me, Lucy, they're not selling. So here's what it's going to take. Every listing is going to sell right now. Do you have the skill sets to have a heart-to-heart negotiation conversation with your seller? Or are you going to keep those listings overpriced because you want your ego to be inflated and you want to say you got a listing, but listing doesn't sell, Gino? How much money is an agent making?
Nothing.
And
Nothing.
stop. Listen, guys, let me tell you the other state of the market. Stop doing open houses on overpriced listings. You're hallucinating. Nobody's going to buy your overpriced listing just because you're sitting there, with your favorite BFF mortgage or title company, pretending that you guys are, like in Hollywood and putting together a Hollywood production. I mean, kudos to those people out there doing all those Hollywood production videos, but that's not going to sell a property. The property must be priced to sell. And let me tell you something else. The state of the market right now, okay, it's not a seller's market. It's not a buyer's market. It's not even a new construction market. It is a price-driven market. Whoever prices the property right is going to win over and over. Do you know how to have those conversations with your sellers? Do you have the persuasive skills when you jump on a phone with your client to persuade them, educate them, give them the insight, give them the facts? As a matter of fact, for all my friends out there that have vacant listings that are sitting there, get ready, get ready, because it's only a matter of time before those listings start to get vandalized. It's only a matter of time before we start seeing what we saw in 2009, 10, and 11. You getting those, love phone calls from the sheriff's office saying, hey, your property got broken into last night. Hey, your property, that your property got broken. So there's so many things happening, guys, but we could be on this episode of Agents in the Trenches forever. If you have overpriced listings, if you are out there and you are not in the trenches putting deals together, if you are a broker that's bleeding with a whole bunch of unproductive agents, if you are an agent that is at a company where the broker is competing against you, reach out to me. I'm not going to recruit you. I'm not looking to recruit. I'm looking to serve and help. I will help you with those conversations to lower the prices. I will help you find the best place for you to thrive in your business. I will help you exploring what opportunities exist if your agents are not producing and you're the broker that's about to shut down the doors because you don't know what else to do. Reach out to me, because this is the season, Gino.
Yeah, but look, let me ask you this question.
Uh-huh.
It's funny how when we were saying about the agents being stuck onto the broker, that's one thing I learned, that if the broker never did it, they can't explain it to you. Because I had incidents where a broker couldn't even give me an answer. And not to say that they didn't know, but if you didn't know, why come over here and learn with me? Learn, you know what I'm saying? Let's learn this problem. Because in real estate, there's going to be a new problem every day. It's always different things. But what some people don't want to admit is that they don't know. How can you tell your seller, like you just said about this, if you got to sell a house for under $100,000 that they pay for, how do you tell your seller that you're going to lose $100,000? You have to. But if you're not experienced at doing that, you can't do it. And most, I don't know, people that I met, let me say people I met don't do that.
They don't know how to.
Right.
And that's the thing. So here's the thing, and thank you, Bryce, for putting that there. The state of the market right now, is going to require vulnerability, transparency, and humbleness.
Wow.
It's going to require professionals, business owners, and entrepreneurs, whether you're a realtor or not, this goes for everybody, for you to really audit where you are and where you want to go. It's mid-year, my friends. We are at the mid-year mark.
6 months.
You must change now. I would recommend that everyone sit down and audit their environment, the atmosphere where they're at, audit your results. Listen, even if you are not closing deals, but you're learning because you're growing, because you feel and see the transformation, that's good. But the problem is there's tons of people thinking, I got to go take another class. I got to go take another class. You don't need another class. You need to get into action. You need to listen. I had another conversation with somebody yesterday, and they said, I want to do this. I know I can do what I say I want to do. And I know that I feel that I'm ready, but I want to try it on my own. I said, good for you. They said, do you think I should try it on my own? I said, if you think you could do it on your own, go do it on your own. But can I tell you what I know? And they were like, yeah. I said, you got 90 days before you flatline. And right now, I'm telling our industry, I'm talking to you, broker, I'm talking to you, team leader, I'm talking to you, realtor, and I'm talking to everybody in the marketplace. I don't care what you sell, content, pictures, videos, shoes, purses, mortgage, insurance, appraisal. You must audit. This market is not going to get easier. You need to lock arms with someone that's got the rocket fuel to get you above the hurdles that we're about to confront. You need to get around people that are willing to ignite your potential. You need to get around people that know how to win championships. And most people in this market have never even been in a championship. They've never been in a head to head combat because it's been easy.
Mm-hmm.
It's been easy real estate. Watch and see 90 days from now, brokerage is closing, brokerage is closing. As soon as brokerage is closing, video content creators go down, everything goes down, insurance goes down, insurance business. I'm not saying the prices, insurance business goes down, mortgage business goes. That's why having an ecosystem is not, Gino, you know this. Being part of an ecosystem, I'm not saying an event every 3 months. I'm not saying a networking every month. I'm saying an ecosystem, a consistent ecosystem. It's not an option. It's a must. Mark the timeline. Mark 90 days, you're going to see a bunch of people flatlining, a bunch of people flatlining. And that's why I'm bringing this conversation. You know what, Gino? You know that I may not be the most popular, but I'm the most experienced.
But see, and that's the thing about real estate. People want to be popular. People want to get all the money, but they don't want to take the time to learn it or give it back. See, I mean, listen, like you just said, people got to understand it's going to be, and it is a new real estate market.
Yep.
It's a new market to where, you know why too, you said people don't want to listen. That's another thing, people, all y'all that run to the chat GBT, that's good, don't get me wrong. But what chat GBT is not going to do is have that empathy for you when you don't know how to do it. And you can call your coach at 2 a.m. or whatever, and that coach said, well, listen, do this, do that. Chat GBT is not going to do that. We have to be self-knowledge ourselves, because listen, I had a buyer tell me more about the house than I knew about it.
Of course.
GPT. So we have to have the knowledge, but work it, implement it into doing it, and that's the main thing.
And that's the thing. And it ain't going to get easier, guys. So reach out. Gino, I'm so happy that you joined me here on Agents in the Trenches. I think this is a conversation that we need to continue. I'm rallying those leaders that are willing to make a mark. This industry is not going to get easier.
No.
We've got to be the ones that are stronger. And that's the problem right now. For insurance people, for mortgage people, for title people, for realtors, team leaders, brokers. We all think it's going to be one more event. It's going to solve the problem. One more networking is going to solve the. It's time to work, my friends. It's time to know how to have the tough conversations with buyers and sellers. It's time to know how to grow your business. And if we can help you with anything, Gino, I know you're going to be starting some classes soon and sharing your knowledge, because this is the season for us to give it all away. Right here, right now is the moment for those people that want to be game changers and really surface to the top and really be frontline leaders to start giving it all away, give away that knowledge, give away that expertise, just give it away. But you need an audience for that. So, Gino, tell us what are the classes you're going to start doing consistently coming soon.
So I got coming up for all four, and I want to say this for new agents. I teach a FISBO class because, like I learned it, you want to be able to get on the seller side of talking to them. So I'll be doing that every week, starting in July. Every Tuesday, I'll be teaching the FISBO classes. Right now, there's no charge. I just want you to come in. You don't have to be a part of my team. I want all agents. I don't care who you with. If you want to learn and grow, come to my classes. We will be doing those FISBO classes. And also, I will in the future be teaching about picking up rentals, because I want to teach the new agents, don't wait 30 days to get a big check. when you can get a bill check in a couple of days. So just look out for the new beginners physical class and the new beginners rental class. Will be coming up starting next month.
All right, guys, we will see you next time on Agents in the Trenches. This was real awesome. It was fire. And thank you so much for hanging with us. We'll see you next time.